Welcome everyone to episode 3 of Shea Talk. I am your host, Dartmouth High School's assistant principal, Mr. Shea. Today's show, I'll be speaking with several students who will be appearing in this year's TEDx DHS event, Connections to the World Around Us. Stay tuned, we'll be right back with another exciting episode of Shea Talk.
Dartmouth High School is committed to providing a quality education for all learners. Dartmouth High School is home to over 1,000 students with a variety of academic and extracurricular offerings that make Dartmouth High School a special place to learn. At Dartmouth High School, we have a program for you. From our world-class music programs to our exceptional varsity athletic offerings to the more than 20 advanced placement courses, students at Dartmouth High School have unique opportunities to grow and develop throughout their high school experience. Our mission at Dartmouth High School is to prepare all students for whatever opportunities they wish to pursue upon graduation. Whether you plan to continue your education at a 2, 4, trade, or technical school, enter directly into the workforce, or volunteer in service to our nation, Dartmouth High School will prepare you for the future of your choosing. We invite students considering Dartmouth High School to shadow a current student, to experience a day in the life of a Dartmouth High School student. We are confident that you will walk away believing that Dartmouth High School is a special place to learn and to grow. We look forward to seeing you around Dartmouth High School soon.
On Thursday, March 24th, 2022, the Dartmouth Education Foundation presents the 10th Annual Spelling Bee. Be a sponsor or enter as a team. Please visit www.defma.org for more information.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Shea Talk. Today we're talking with our students from our TED Talk X DHS. Is that the official name, right? I have Caitlin and Elizabeth here, and let's just start and tell me how you guys got involved in TED Talk.
I can go first. I didn't sign up until my junior year. I really didn't do any clubs before that, but with COVID, a lot of the clubs met virtually. They were able to meet over Zoom. So I felt like I had more time to do clubs. So I signed up. I was pretty excited. I knew Elizabeth was going to be doing it. And I really didn't have any idea what it meant to do a TED Talk. I just knew that I was excited to find out, and I've really enjoyed myself.
Oh, great. So it sounds like you dragged in Caitlin. So how, you were the first person. So how did you get involved in TED Talk?
So in 8th grade, I did a TED Talk, and I didn't know that there was a TED Talks club at DHS until my junior year. So that's when I started. And Caitlin and I are good friends. So when I was like, I'm doing a TED Talk, we decided to do one together. We didn't present together, but we prepared together and all that stuff. So I really enjoy public speaking. It's kind of a passion of mine. It's something that I hope to do in my career. So TED Talk seemed like a logical choice for me.
Excellent. We're going to come right back to that about how this is preparing you for your careers. But for our audience out here, we have a live studio audience, and for people watching at home, what is a TED Talk?
So essentially you pick a topic that you're interested in. It can be anything. In our TED Talk X DHS club, we pick a theme that ties together all our topics. So it's kind of a more cohesive show than just one person talking about something random and then the next person talking about something. So at the end, we should all be saying a similar message. And it's a 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 to 12 minutes.
It's 10 to 12 minute presentation where we just talk about essentially whatever we want and giving out information that we think is essential.
Excellent. Excellent. So you talked about how you want to go into public speaking. How has TED Talk prepared you, whether it's for college or advanced past year, public speaking, for both of you?
So I know that both of us, we also took the AP Capstone program, which involves at the end of research a presentation that was approximately 15 minutes on this topic that you know a lot about. So preparing for a TED Talk at the exact same time and presenting a TED Talk before you present your research project really helped with pacing, timing, knowing how you just have to practice a lot of things that you might not even realize, just like eye contact and making sure you're not always looking at the slide. Things that are going to help you in any type of presentation you do, because there are presentations in college if you go into a career that involves public speaking. It's just a very useful skill to know how to talk to people and to know how to be able just to hold a conversation that intrigues people and makes them want to know more.
What's it like to talk for 10 to 12 minutes without interruption, without I'm used to this, feedback back and forth, and that seems like a long time.
I find that if you know what you're talking about, and especially if you're interested in what you're talking about, it doesn't feel like 10 minutes. For example, my topic last year was something that I'm really passionate about, so I could have gone for longer if I needed to. I think a lot of us, I know that there's an issue with me and Caitlin where we were just talking for too long and we had to cut the presentation down. So if you know the topic, it's pretty easy to keep going on it.
And how do you prepare? You must have to do some serious deep dives.
So we spend a lot of time making the presentations, gathering research. So that's where we are right now. We're finalizing our presentations. And then in the weeks leading up to the TED Talks, especially the week before, you have a lot of practice just presenting over and over again, presenting with the mic, presenting in front of teachers. I know the two of us went into the hall like 10 minutes before our presentation last year and just ran it because you want to get the timing down so that you're not going too long, too short, you're not talking too quickly so everyone can understand you. But it's a lot of just knowing your topic so that you can really present it the best way possible.
And when we do it here, I love TED Talk. So when we do it here, is it just like at home or at like national versions where they have the clock in front of you, or are you mentally using the clock?
It's a mental thing,
Yeah.
at least last year, which was a little bit different than how it's going to be this year. But we just knew our timing, and because we practiced so many times, we could kind of tell if we were going over time. And of course, Miss True and Miss Souza are behind the cameras and the audience, like giving us hand signals, like wrap it up, let's go, or something like that.
I get that often over here too. When you're preparing and when you're doing it together, you guys start with a theme. Does the crew think of the theme, or is there a national theme? How does that work?
So we come up with the themes ourselves, usually at the beginning of the year. It tries to be a very vague, broad theme so that everyone can connect their own ideas to it, so that it's not just keeping you in this box of ideas. There's really anything that can apply as long as it connects together. It's usually just our ending statement. So we come up with it as a group, and the teachers kind of give us feedback so that we can finalize it.
And when you're doing the presentation, this is probably helpful for all of our students here doing any presentations. It's easy just to spit facts and just say facts, but how do you zhuzh it up, add some fun to it, or just make it more interesting?
I like to add examples or just kind of make it more personable. So rather than just this statistic, this fact, I like to add more of a personal touch to it, where I talk about maybe my opinions, which might be difficult in a school presentation. But if you can add an example that kind of brings it closer to home, I find that really helps.
Great. When you're working on it, do you research other TED topics, or are there recommendations you have for your peers to look into? I know we were talking earlier that Ms. True often shows many examples of them, and I think their ideas worth sharing, right? That's the theme. So, what do you have any recommendations?
I watch a lot of the TED Talks similar to my topic, just to kind of have a sense of what's already out there, what people kind of agree on. I know this year I watched less than last year because I was kind of more nervous last year, but it's definitely good to see the pacing, to see how people stand and present themselves, kind of what to do in that professional setting. I think just the biggest recommendation is just to be comfortable talking about your topic, so that you can see these people in TED Talks, they're pretty confident doing their thing. So then if you know what you're talking about, you can be confident and kind of imitate that.
Yeah. So let's talk about this year's event. This year's event is on the 11th of March, right? So kind of counting down the deadline, getting really close as those eyes are popping out. Last year you guys talked, it was different. So last year versus this year, what's it going to be like this year, and then what was it like last year?
So last year it was in the library with the only audience was the tech crew and the other presenters. So it was just like, it was still fun, and like we were still getting feedback from peers and teachers who would be emailing us and saying like, great job, or texting us. But it's just not the same as being in front of a real live audience. And this year, the goal and what we think is going to happen at this point is we're going to be in the auditorium on the stage with the big screen behind us, which is going to be very different from last year, but also I think I really like presenting in front of a live audience. So I'm excited for that aspect.
Okay, just to wrap it up, I would love to know how, you said you weren't really involved in clubs, and part of the whole theme of this show is we want students to understand that Dartmouth High School offers a variety of clubs. What is the importance of being a part of a club? Like, where do you, how has it helped you? We talked about the public speaking side of it, but just in vaguer senses of it is, why should students be involved?
I think just like any club, it's really good to have a sense of community where people like the same things as you. They're kind of helping you better yourself at that task. So for TED Talk specifically, you're going to get better at presenting. You're going to be with other people who are equally as excited about their topic, who also want to learn about presenting skills. Miss True and Miss Souza are both very good at instructing you and like walking you through the entire process. They have deadlines, everything. It's just very structured, and it's a good model in a less stressful setting for how it's going to be in school with the deadlines, with the instruction. And I think just all clubs, it's really good to get involved and have that sense of community.
Yeah. Is it like a family kind of, or like a community that you
Family
you
that
all
meets
going through
once
the
a
same-
month, yes.
Yeah.
Well, on the day of, it's definitely, there's a bond.
And how
because
many people are, about how many are presenting?
We started out with a lot of people, but people do tend to drop throughout the year. I think, what are we at, about 8 or 10 now maybe?
Yeah, I
It's-
think there's usually 2 or 3 presenters for 4 or 5 periods, so
That's great.
whatever that.
Well, I appreciate your time. I'm so excited for this. I can't wait to be watching it either virtually as our amazing tech team is going to stream it, or in the audience as time allows me to. So thank you for today. Good luck. Enjoy the time. Take a deep breath before you go and have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to our live audience.
The 10th Annual Spelling Bee is being held by the Dartmouth Education Foundation. On Thursday, March 3rd, team entry and sponsorship forms will be due. It will take place March 24th in the DHS auditorium from 7 to 9 p.m. The purpose is to raise money for teacher grants. For more information, visit www.defma.org.
I'd like to thank everyone that participated in today's show, including our live studio audience. I'd also like to wish the TEDx DHS presenters good luck in this year's event on Friday, March 11th. Remember, our great DHS TV media crew will be live streaming the event. The link is in the description. They always do an amazing job. Our next episode, we'll be speaking with the students from our popular math team who's having a really good year this year. So stay tuned for that and more on Shea Talk.